So, hello, good afternoon. Do you need something? Are you okay? Alright, just kidding. My kiddo was standing at the door watching me. Today we are going to talk about burdock root. I'm processing more roots today. I'm starting with roots first because I have roots that need processed. And I had said that I was just gonna kind of show you guys what I was doing and talk about the plants that I was working with. So burdock is really, really cool plant. I was really excited to find it the other day. It has these gigantic leaves. They're so huge. And let me tell you the struggles I had getting this out of the ground. It's got this gigantic taproot that just goes down so deep, and it's really hard to get to. I have heard that you can actually buy burdock root in certain grocery stores, but don't quote me on that. So, something cool about burdock root is number one, it helps to purify the blood. And something really cool about plants is, if you look down in here, this is where one of the leaves were, okay? If you look down in here, you see how there's red at the base of the leaf here, at the base of this stem? That tells me that's going to help with blood. That's going to help your blood system. So, once again, that's that plant. Telling me, in part, what it's good for. So, burdock. It's also been known to be really, really good for skin conditions. It can help with irritation and especially skin conditions. Once again, I'm not going to make any medical claims. I can't do that. I can just kind of carefully use my words to try to help. I always encourage you to do your own research through this as well. But especially skin conditions that involve inflammation and irritation, it can calm that, which is awesome, and help heal it, and once again help to purify that blood, to help get good clean blood flowing to where your irritation may be. A lot of people, so the way people recommend you use is using it topically on the skin, on the area. You can do that by infusing it into an oil, or even doing like a water infusion. You could probably, do a really concentrated infusion and pour it in your bath, and that would be good as well. And usually when people have really, really harsh skin conditions, I apologize, I had a kiddo that was trying to sit down, and I had plants sitting in a chair, and so he couldn't get through, and I needed to help him move those. A lot of people like to do the tincture along with a topical. I apologize again. My house is busy. Hopefully you'll get used to that watching my videos. If it bothers you, I'm sorry. I have 4 children. 3 of them are still at home, and we are a busy household. And if it's not something that you are okay with, then I advise you to maybe watch someone else's channel, because we'll have interruptions here. But most people, when they're using burdock, they use it in tincture form and topically. And actually, if you take one of the big giant leaves that I was talking about. And you just pour some boiling water over it for maybe, I don't know, 2 minutes. I never really calculate. I just kind of wing it and do what feels right, and that's what helps me. And then, of course, you let it cool down. You don't want to put it hot on your skin, but you apply that leaf onto the area where you have a rash, or maybe some, bug bites, or say you got into poison ivy or something. It can be very, very relieving that way. It's a really, really cool plant. Once again, I don't know if I said this about this one or not. The whole entire plant is useful. I see a lot of stuff in books and online about burdock root. And it's also been used as a food, throughout history and even now today. But the entire plant can be used. The entire plant can be used. So just remember that these plants are basically giving their lives for you, and try to use everything you can. I always use everything from a plant that's possible. If I get a plant that has maybe some bug damage or something. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to harvest a plant that has severe bug damage, because that tells me that that plant is probably not healthy, because, predators tend to attack the weak, if that makes sense. They look for a weakness and then they attack that. And the same thing goes for little critters that like to eat plants. They'll find a weak plant and they will. I'm having trouble peeling this one, so I'm gonna cut a slit in it. So if I come across a plant that has a lot of bug damage on it, a couple bugs here and there, that's totally fine. But that tells me that that plant is probably not healthy, and it's not going to be as medicinal as I need it to be. So I usually leave those. However, if I come across a plant that has some bug damage to it, I usually will use what I can't use for crafting. I like to make smudge sticks out of my medicinal plants as well, because there are actually two forms of smudging. There is your spiritual or magical smudge, and there's also medicinal smudges. And sometimes those two coincide with each other, which is really cool. So I will use the whole plant. It will get used for incense, or for smudge sticks, or some type of craft decoration, something like that. Absolutely none of the plants that I harvest go to waste. So I hope this kind of helps. Burdock, though, I haven't gone into the magical, I don't think, properties of burdock yet. This was actually burned. Well, I believe the Native Americans smoked it for good luck before they would go out, like hunting. It was smoked for good luck. You can burn burdock leaves. They're just, I really need to show them to you. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can't go get one. Okay, so these are some burdock leaves that I had hanging drying. So they're a little bit wilty right now, and they've shrunk a good bit, but I mean, these are like bigger than my hand. They're huge. Really, really cool though. But it said you can write wishes on those leaves. Oh my gosh. Are you proud of yourself, sir? My children are ornery. You'll have
No,
to
you're honoring.
also have to excuse the fact that with children come talks of farts and everything else in my house. And that's just gonna have to be something that you will have to come accustomed to watching my videos. But you can write wishes. You can write goals. You can write plans and things like that on. I also wanted to show you really quick. You can see more of that red. You see more of that red? That shows that this is very much, smells really good. It almost has a little bit of a lemony type smell to it, and it almost smells kind of like, to me, it almost smells like dill. But, so you can write wishes on the burdock leaves, and you can burn them. You can also burn burdock root to get yourself closer to spirit. When you're needing that connection, you know, like I said, burdock root has this big, huge, it's this tap root that just digs so down deep. You know, sometimes when we lose connection with our spirits or Mother Earth or connection with ourselves, it's because we're just not digging down deep enough. Burdock purifies the spirit, and it also purifies the blood. And it will help you to dig down and pull up what you're needing to open up to hear what Spirit has to say a little bit more and to connect you better. So that's medicinally and magically the things and like I said, I know that I'm sure there's some things I've left out about burdock, but it's a really, really cool plant. I was just absolutely elated to find this plant the other day, and you know, let me tell you, it was not easy to get out of the ground. As I said before, I believe that some of these are sold in like health food stores and things like that, but if I can connect with Mother Nature, if I can connect with these plant allies, to work with them, I just get a better knowledge, and for me, I feel like medicinally, sometimes they work a little better for me when I'm actually connecting with the earth around them as well. And so I definitely spent, I want to say it took me a good 20-30 minutes to get this out of the ground. This was a tough one for sure, but so worth it. And so I was really thankful to find it, but it was a lot of work, and sometimes it can be a lot of work. But you know, anything that's too terribly easy is probably not worth it. Though we are given gifts when it comes to, you know, magically speaking, and speaking of Mother Nature and our plant allies, we are given gifts that are really easy sometimes when we really, really need them, or sometimes just before we need them. You know, but sometimes we really have to work for it, and that's okay. So I hope this video was useful, and I know if I forgot anything, I'll be going back and making plenty of videos. So just know that. If y'all also have any questions, ask. Feel free to ask. Because I'm happy to try to answer those.